Hello everybody and welcome to Colliverse, and for this video I'm going to be turning beginners into novices. So the first thing I want to show you is filters, and I showed you a little bit of it in the last video, but I didn't really go into much detail with them. So the first thing is you want to select an area. So let's say I want to select this wheel. Oops. So I want to select this wheel. So I'm going to take the magnetic lasso tool, because I'm going to use that since it's faster. And we're going to go all the way around this rim. And we're going to go all the way around. Like so. And finished. Okay, so here's the rim, fairly good. So for the filters, you can change things like let's go into artistic. You can do all these things to make them look different. Like I could give it a neon glow. I could do neon lines. I think that's in here somewhere. And glowing edges, there you go. I could change it to that. And you know what? That actually looks semi-real, which is actually kind of cool, because that kind of makes the wheel look kind of cool. And it's that's just one thing you can use for filters, is changing rims or just making things look better. So I'm gonna I'll keep that actually. Anyways, so and then the next thing, like that's some of the things you can do with filters. Is there's also Liquify. This is a very good one to use. You can just get things looking better than they did before. And oh, I'm on a filter, so it's not. Oh. But you can use Liquify, and it allows you to stretch things or make it kind of look like liquid ran over or stretched out, kind of like a watercolor. So next, I'm pretty sure I showed you the clone tool in my older video, but I didn't also go into much detail with it. So I'm going to be showing you what some of the real stuff you can do with it that makes things look good. I'm not sure if you guys could notice this, as I think I did a pretty good job on it, is there used to be legs up here. And they're not there anymore. And there also used to be a shadow right here that kind of covered this from being seen. And I made that part back into the car. So just to show you the power of the clone tool, let's say I didn't want anybody to know this car was a Pontiac, or at least be able to simply see that it was a Pontiac from the front. As you can see, the wheel, you can tell that it's a Pontiac, but I'm not going to go into that. Let's say I wanted this Pontiac symbol gone. So what I'd have to do is go up to my brush size after I have the clone tool selected and change the size to a much smaller size. Then what you'd want to do is select an area that's very close to it and try to follow the grain of the car and try to get as close as possible to it without doing that. As you can see, I got some of the side there. And if you have to go to a smaller tool, that's fine, but the more smaller, it can also be distinguished easier from not being the real thing, because the grain will look totally different in one spot. So you'll take this and you'll go up on the edges. Also, I forgot to mention, it's very good if you go over it with a soft looking tool instead of a hard one, because then it looks like it blends into the car better. And using the the blur tool isn't such a great thing to use all the time. So we're gonna very slowly make our way down on this part. You could even grab some of what's up there and implant it into down here, which I think is what I'm going to do, since it looks actually fairly good. Put this here. And there. Then we're going to grab some from down here. And I think I'm going to make the brush slightly bigger. And I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to just kind of, grab a little bit from down here. Give it some so it doesn't instantly go. And undo that one, because that didn't look too good. Then what you want to do is you can take, you don't have to do this, but it looks better. So you take the blur tool and just kind of, do a few clicks and a few drags. Then go up into filter, and this is why Liquify is such a good thing. And you can zoom in. So let's zoom in. You zoom in Liquify by not zooming in with the scroll wheel, since you can't do that, but zooming in with the by clicking Control and the plus sign. And you can also do that outside of Photoshop too. Not outside of Photoshop, but in the normal Photoshop window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pull tool and I'm going to make the brush size much smaller. It's way too small. Let's go to a 31. And I'm going to zoom in more and make my way over to where I want. And I'm going to take it and, just kind of pull some of it there. And just kind of pull some of it in there and pull some of it down. Some of it up and try to drag some of it down. Okay, so that I know that doesn't look super great right there, and it definitely won't look good at all when you get up close. So what we're going to do is go to here, and we're going to make the brush of this smaller, increase the hardness, and just kind of go over this some with the blur tool. And you can still kind of see it if you look at it. Another way you could fix this is to take this polygonal, select this here, and this is another thing where filters come very, 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 very nice, is you can go to blur and go to motion blur, and you can change the angle to where it's down and increase the blur. And then Command deselect, and now it just kind of blends into the car really nicely. So that's the clone tools. I got rid of that Pontiac symbol, it's no longer there. You could also cover up something like this very easily. So had to check the time on my recording there. So what you do is you also take this tool, and you don't need it so small this time, you can make it bigger. Probably slightly bigger than that. You could probably just go over this in one entire stroke. So copy an area that's below it and go over it. And the reason why it's taking more instead of just instantly going over it is because I have the blurring edges tool, which in my opinion just kind of clones everything together better. So that's the clone tool. No more of that thing there. No more Pontiac symbol. Now I'm going to be showing you layers. Layers are really nice. Now what I should have done was just shown you that when I first started the video, but you go up to layer and you go to new and you click layer. You can call it whatever you want, so I'll just call it layer 1. Layer beast, never mind, layer beast. And click that, and as you can see this little box here. That means nothing's there, it's just transparent. So what you can do is, let's say I wanted to let's say I wanted to change the color of this grill, okay? Or change this from chrome to a different color. So what I could do is go to my paint tool and change your opacity to about 30%. Change it to the color you want. Let's say I wanted my chrome to be not chrome, but I want it to be let's say I wanted it to be let me go to my paint tool. What just happened? Oh, there we go. I wanted it to be a blue. So click on that, and I change the brush size. So what you're going to want to do is try to do this all in one motion, but take this and go as fine as you can over this. Now, an easier way to do this is, instead of doing that, if you just want to get this all done without making any mistakes at all, what you can do is take the Polygonal Tool, and select only where you want it to paint. And you can do this here, get up to where the chrome is, go around, and a loop around here to finish up, and then trace it back down this way. There you go. So now we have all inside this selected. So what I can do from here is, I probably should have came around and did this so this wasn't in it, but I didn't, so I still have to watch out for this, but not the side of the car. So what I can do is grab the brush, it's at 30% opacity, and go over. Now I don't have to worry about it going outside of the car, onto the car. All I have to do is worry about it getting into the grill. So I go around, get it the color I want, and I should have made that go higher, because now it's not in it, but I can do that in just a sec. Just get that a darker looking blue. Okay, and I'm going to click Control D to deselect. Since I forgot to add this to it, I'm just gonna, I'll just grab the Polygonal Lasso tool and select this area here. And oops, some little glitch there. Here. I don't know what happened there. Reselect that and restart. Sorry about that, people. And take it all the way around the chrome. So now I have that selected, I can just, like I said before, paint on it. And there you go. Oops. And deselect. And there you go. Now it kind of looks like it had, well, it does look like it had a blue thing starting there. I could take it around that corner, but I'm not going to even spend my time on that. But now it looks like that was blue instead of being chrome. You can see how realistic it looks with them. And if I didn't actually want that there, if I had done both of these, let's say I just wanted it chrome again, you go to this layer here, and you unclick that eye and it goes right back to how it was. That way you can do adjustments there without having to worry about it. And then if you want it back, you just re-click on the eye. So that's basically that. That's using some layers in some way. You can also use layers to add other pictures over it. So let's say I wanted it to look like a GMC. I could put GMC right here with letters, and I could do that with layers. You can add pictures onto layers and without actually modifying the real background. So if you didn't want to ruin the picture, just do layers. Also, I wanted to show you that you can sharpen things. So you can go to adjustments in image, and you can change the brightness, the contrast. So let's say I wanted to bring the contrast really high, bring the brightness up. Well, I only have the this selected, so it changed to that, but so we'll just go cancel on that. We'll go to the background first, then go to image, adjustments, brightness, and let's say I wanted the contrast really high. Of course, you have to have the brightness high when you have the contrast high. It's a little bit too high. But now the contrast is higher, it looks a little bit more brighter, everything looks a little bit more retro. I wanted to show you also that you can sharpen images by going to adjustments and going to right about mode, and then there's sharpen. Well, I can't find sharpen, which is a pity, so I'll have to show you in the next video. But I also wanted to show you Grayscale. And this one's pretty cool. You can do this. You can change it to Grayscale, which is really awesome. And it allows you to just make everything black and white. So you go to mode, Grayscale, and don't flatten, and what it does is just makes everything black and white, and then you can go back, which is really cool. So if you want a black and white picture or something to look old, you can add let's say I wanted to make this look like an old picture, I could go to, even though it won't actually look like an old picture, but you can go to distort, or it was looking for, there's sharpen, that's what it was right there, it's in filter, and it just sharpens the edges of everything. But it's texture, and then you go to grain, and you change the intensity of the grain down, and you take down the turn up the contrast of it some, change the intensity. This adds a grain to it, and then you go to image, mode, Grayscale, don't flatten, discard. And now it kind of looks like a semi-old picture. Anyways, that's pretty much all the things. I showed you layers, I showed you how to do Grayscale, I showed you sharpen, clone tool, filters. Last thing I want to show you is how to export a picture. So you click Save As. Pretty simple, but what you can do is it saves in Photoshop. It'll always save in Photoshop PSD if you do anything to it. So what you're going to want to do is, the most commonly used one is either PNG, JPEG, or BMP. I like JPEG, so I use JPEG. Save. I want to change the name of it since I already have a picture, as you can see. And go to, let's say black car. And save. You can change the quality of the picture. I just like doing max, and baseline standard. And OK. And it saves it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, and if you want to, please subscribe.